What's up, everybody? I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. My name is Mel and welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything astrology, tarot, and spirituality. So if those are the things that interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, welcome to the Stargazer. This is my weekly astrology forecast that's meant to just keep you informed and up to date on what's going on in the cosmos so you kind of know how to navigate it, how to get through it, how to prepare. It's almost like, think of it as like a weather report. I'll tell you when you need an umbrella, when the weather's going to be great. So that's what this series is all about. So this is the weekly astrology forecast for the week of September 6th through September 12th. It's going to be a quite interesting week because there's going to be some major energy shifts. We've got one planetary ingress and two planetary stations. So there's going to be a lot of movement this week, definitely. And we're going to be feeling that on a very personal level. We've got Venus transiting into Leo. We've got Mercury going retrograde, and we've got Jupiter going direct. So we're going to feel it on both a personal level and like a society level too. So it should be pretty interesting. We've also got the moon making some trines that's going to have us in our feelings this week. Nothing too crazy, nothing you're definitely not used to, but just something to be mindful of, especially with everything else that's going on. And we've got a grand trine this week, a grand earth trine to be exact. So it's kind of like a lucky day. It's a lucky day to actually have some things manifest on a very real level. And trines, a grand trine is literally just a big triangle. Trines are all about effortless energy. It's about things just sort of falling into place without any effort on your own to make things happen, usually in a very beneficial sort of way. And with this grand trine happening in earth signs, you can see that actually happen like in real time. These are manifestations that you can actually see happening in your life. So we've got a particularly auspicious day this week. But other than that, things look, the new normal. I mean, every day I feel like we're being pulled in a different direction. We've got things that tug on our heartstrings. We've got some emotional turmoil to get through. We've got societal changes that are sort of rocking us all. So we're all kind of in the same boat. We're all trying to navigate this crazy time together. And 2020 is just one of those years that'll definitely go down in history. And it's not over yet, not just because it's September and we're not in December yet, but we've got still, by the end of this year, we've got some real kind of crazy astrological happenings that might really rock us. So my advice is just to hang in there. Try to deal with things as best you can, and as always, try to vibrate high. There's a lot going on, not just in the astrology, but spiritually as well. And keeping your vibration high is like key right now. Can't stress that enough. But let's really get into this, dive into this week and see what we can look forward to and what we have to prepare for. All right. So we start out with Venus moving into Leo on Sunday, September 6th. Leo is all about standing out. Leo is all about romance, lighthearted energy. It's about following your heart, being creative, and being an individual. And with Venus moving in here, it's like, expect your relationships to, take on a more romantic nature. And have more fun too. This Venus transit lasts for about a month. So from this Sunday until early October, don't take relationships too seriously. This isn't a time for a lot of deep discussions, a lot of deep transformation and things like that. I mean, there are going to be some transits to this Venus in Leo as the month progresses, but at least once this starts on Sunday, you might notice your relationships take on a more lighthearted nature. This doesn't have to deal with just romantic relationships. This is also relationships with your children. So you're going to enjoy a more beneficial time with your kids, a more fun time with your kids. It's a great time to have more fun, spend more time with your kids, especially if your kids aren't in school yet, or if they're, at home. Make the effort to sort of have some fun, to, change things up a bit. To keep that great energy going in your relationships. But like I said, for the next month, relationships are, not as heavy, which is a great thing because we've got enough heaviness already with everything else going on. So those relationships, can have some really good energy. So enjoy that. So the 7th, I would tell you to put a gold star on the 7th because that is the day that we have that grand Earth trine, and it's between Jupiter in Capricorn, the Sun in Virgo, and the Moon in Taurus. Let me make sure I got that right. Yes. So it's Jupiter in Capricorn, the Sun in Virgo, and the Moon in Taurus. Now, when you have the Sun and the Moon trine, it's really about balance. The Sun represents your ego, the Moon represents your emotion and your personality. And when you've got a trine between those two, it's like you really got inner harmony, inner balance. And with that comes a lot of clarity. With that, you're able to decipher what it is that you want and what you need to do in order to get it. And the best thing is that the third planet in this trine is Jupiter. And Jupiter is the abundant and optimistic planet. Even though it has yet to go direct, it'll go direct on Saturday, but it's still pretty beneficial. Grand trines, again, trines are effortless energy. So you have this energy of knowing what you want, knowing how to get it, being balanced, being able to approach it from a very, I hate to overuse the word, but balanced, approaching it from a very balanced place within yourself. And you've got Jupiter just ready to sprinkle that optimism and abundance onto it. And with this trine, this grand trine happening in all earth signs, it's doing this in a way that's permanent, that's very real. A lot of times you may have these goals and these ambitions and, things that you want to accomplish. And it might sometimes be like pie in the sky kind of energy. It's this energy of, I want it to happen, but, I'm hoping it'll happen, but it hasn't manifested yet or it hasn't happened yet. With a grand Earth trine, that energy is being solidified. It's being crystallized. So expect some good fortune. Expect some things in your life to show up on the 7th. Exactly. That's what, Monday? So on Monday, expect something good to happen. I'm not going to say it's going to be something major. It might just be something small, but it's like a gift from the universe. So put a gold star on the 7th because that's a particularly positive day. All right, so we move on to Tuesday, the 8th, and we've got the moon making some trines that might have us in our feelings for that particular day. So we just got off the full moon, which was, typically emotional, right? This one was pretty intense because it was in Pisces. So we're coming off of that, and now we are in the waning gibbous phase of the moon. So if the moon is when things come to fruition, if the full moon is when things come to fruition and things are sort of illuminated, the waning gibbous part of the moon is when you work with that information. So if something became uncovered with the full moon during the waning gibbous phase, that's when you're dealing with whatever came to light. If something manifested at the time of the full moon under the waning gibbous phase, that's when you're actually enjoying it. So if you wanted to manifest some apples, right? To use a very simplistic example, if you wanted to manifest some apples under the full moon, that's when, you know, you're seeing that the apple is ready to be picked, it's ready to be harvested. Under the waning gibbous, that's when you're actually eating the apple. That's when you're sharing it with others, eating it, harvesting it, whatever. So keep that in mind when you think about and when you're experiencing these trines on Tuesday. So the first trine we have is Mercury in Libra trine the moon in Taurus. So with this trine, you'll find that it's easy to express your emotions and ideas in your relationships in a very sort of logical sort of way. And it's all about comfort. So you'll want to express what makes you comfortable, what your basic needs are under this transit of Mercury trine the moon. There may have been some activity around the full moon where you actually realize what makes you comfortable, what you do need. And now under this waning gibbous phase, now you're able to explain that in a very logical way. So that can actually be very helpful in your relationships, but so you can make some headway towards having harmony, having peace, by letting your partner know exactly what you need and what you want and what would fulfill you. The second trine that we have that same day is the moon in Taurus trine Saturn in Capricorn. So with this trine, at the same time you're able to communicate your feelings in a very logical way, you'll also be dealing with repressed emotions that may be coming up relating to stability and money. Taurus is all about money. It's about products. It's about stability, tangible things, material possessions, things of that nature. So the full moon might have illuminated some things related to your stability. You know, Capricorn is all about success, ambition. With Saturn in Capricorn, it's all about getting your ducks in a row. It's all about achieving success, right? So this trine may be bringing up feelings related to that. And additionally, it might have something to do with your siblings. So there may be some repressed emotions with respect to stability and money as it relates to your siblings that are coming up to be dealt with. Like I said before, the waning gibbous phase of the moon is all about dealing with what came up under the full moon. So Tuesday might be a little bit of an emotional day, nothing too crazy, but remember that these are trines. So it's not like you have to exert any effort. Whatever happens is really just going to happen and you got to rock with it. So again, not going to be too crazy, but just want you to be mindful of that. So moving on, we're going on to Wednesday, which is the 9th. So on Wednesday the 9th, we have Mars going retrograde. So this is going to be one of those energy shifts that I was talking about earlier. Mars is the energy of like get up and go. It's very forceful. It's very aggressive. It's very, it's like brute force. It's physical activity. It's actually putting in the work towards initiating something. And with Mars being in its home sign of Aries, that energy is particularly potent. Mars first entered Aries back in June, where it was going direct. So there are certain, and you know, it all depends on where Mars is in your chart. But wherever it's placed, it was like once June hit, it was like turbocharged energy that was just like full steam ahead, right? Now, when Mars goes retrograde, it slows down. So all that momentum that you were feeling, all that momentum that you were experiencing, that's going to come to like a halt. Almost like a screeching halt in a way, which can be very frustrating. You know, for the next couple of months, actually, Mars is going to be retrograde until November 13th. You know, things are going to plateau. Any headway that you've made with respect to wherever Mars is in your chart, whatever area of your life that it's affecting, things might just plateau, that you might not be seeing the same results, which can be really frustrating. Retrogrades are all about reflection. It gives the energy of the planet slows down to the point where from our vantage point here on Earth, it's almost like the planet is going backwards. And symbolically, that's just like, all right, the planet is slowing down. Now I should slow down too. And in slowing down, I can really reflect and re-examine that area of life that that planet is relating to. And I can make some changes. And I can strategize and I can plan so that when the planet actually goes direct, I can hit the ground running. And that's exactly the case with Mars here. Now, this Mars retrograde is definitely squaring Saturn. So Mars is all about tension. Mars can be very conflicting. Mars is considered a malefic planet. And depending on whether you were born at, during the day or at night, Mars can really have intensity in your chart. Now, with a square to Saturn, Saturn is in Capricorn, yes, and that's squaring Mars, which is in Aries. So there's going to be tension between you and your own needs, your own desires, your own plans, and those responsibilities that you have, particularly when it comes to your work and your public life. So not only is Mars like slowing down, but now it's making an aspect to Saturn that's making you like possibly have conflicts with bosses, employees, followers, fans, etc. So the best advice on this day, and while Mars is in retrograde until November, like be easy. Be easy, be kind. You really might feel the need to pop off because, with that stagnant sort of energy, with that energy going retrograde, it's going to be very frustrating and it's going to make you irritable. It's going to make you feel uneasy, defensive. Don't get into any conflicts with anybody. It's really not going to help the situation. It's only going to make it worse. So just be easy, try to avoid conflict, and just try to lay low. Again, retrograde is all about reassessing and reevaluating. So whatever area of life is being touched by Mars at this time, revamp your plans. Make new strategies. Assess what's been working and what hasn't, so that when Mars goes direct in November, you can hit the ground running with your new plan, and that's when you'll start to see more results and headway with whatever area of your life Mars is in. So that is that energy shift that's happening on Wednesday. So now on Thursday, we've got Venus square Uranus. Like I said, at the beginning of the week, Venus had just ingressed into Leo. So you're feeling romantic, you're feeling good, you want to have fun, you want to have flings, you want to be flirting, that's the space that you're in with Venus in Leo. Now, this is going to be square to Uranus and Taurus. Although Uranus is the planet of shakeups and sudden movement and revolutions, Taurus is all about stability. Taurus, like the bull, is hard to move. So your desire to fulfill your own romantic needs could be adverse to sort of the normality of your particular relationships. Although with Uranus there, your relationships might be experiencing a change up in themselves, it's like your own needs and desires for romance are going to be in conflict with how things just normally go in your relationships. The best thing to do is to be flexible on this day. I know you want to have new adventures and things like that, but try to take your partner's needs, wants, and desires into account as well. But it is also some great energy to start something new, to go on an adventure. So if you're able to use that energy in that way, it'll definitely be beneficial to you. All right. So now we move on to the 11th, which is Friday. And we've got the Sun in Virgo opposing Neptune in Pisces. This is all about fantasy versus reality. Virgo is very practical, very down to earth, very real. Neptune in Pisces, and that's its natural placement. So the Neptune energy is extremely potent. Neptune in Pisces, all about fantasy, reality, being detached from earth. So you're being pulled in like two completely different directions. On the one hand, you really might not feel like doing any work. You might not feel like being responsible, handling your day-to-day responsibility. You might find yourself really daydreaming and like a space cadet, like not being attached to earth. which is fine. We all need that every so often, but you still have very real responsibilities that need your attention. So the best thing to do on this day is to have balance. Balance is key to navigating that energy. Yes, you need to do your work. You need to be responsible. You need to take care of the day-to-day things that require your attention. On the other hand, have a little fun. Detach for a little bit, not all day, but for a little bit, so that you can feel balanced and not feel like you're being pulled in two different directions. So that's what's happening on Friday, the 11th. And finally, we end the week with a biggie. We end the week with Jupiter going direct at 17 degrees in Capricorn. Like I said, Jupiter is the great benefic. Jupiter is the bestower of abundance, good fortune, optimism. It expands everything. That could be a good or a bad thing, but Jupiter, generally speaking, is beneficial. It's positive energy. And now that it won't be in retrograde, it'll be direct. Now it's like it can finally be itself, express its energy in the way that it's used to, and rain down blessings wherever it is. With it being in Capricorn and 17 degrees being the Leo degree, this is about having you stand out in a very real way. Again, Capricorn is a very practical sign. It's an earth sign. It's the last earth sign. It's concerned with success, ambition, things that have to do with your career, your public life, etc. So Jupiter, now that it's going to be direct, is definitely going to sort of give you a boost of positive energy when it comes to your career and public life and ambition and success and all that. Now, it's still conjunct Pluto, which is going to happen for the rest of the year and further. So there's still this, it's like, there's still this energy of transformation, of things really changing in a drastic and profound way. But with Jupiter in the mix, it kind of gives a positive edge to it. It gives a positive vibe to it. And now that it's going direct, it can do that in its natural Jupiterian way, which is great. Hopefully that means that as a society, as a collective, we're going to see some positivity start popping up. We're going to see some things changing for the better in a really profound way now that Jupiter is direct. And again, on a personal level, it's going to help you stand out and be an individual, which is always great and always needed. So that's it. That's the week of September 6th to September 12th. I hope that this was clear. I hope that you were able to get at least one sort of message or advice from this report. If you'd like to order an astrology report from me, that information is in the description box below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. I have a whole bunch of great content that I put out every day, including the week ahead, which is a quick and dirty tarot read on the energies for the upcoming week. So follow me there so you don't miss that. Definitely subscribe and stay tuned. I'm coming out with these reports every week along with some other great content. So subscribe so you don't miss any of that either. As always, I do everything that I do from the bottom of my heart and hopefully for the benefit of all of you. So if you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, that link is in the description box as well. As always, my loves, it's been a pleasure doing this for you. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next week.